the worst terror attack on Indian soil since 26/11. Even today, even as we are entering day 4 of the Pathankot attack, 85 hours and counting, the combing operations have not been called off yet. Lieutenant Colonel Niranjan was one of 7 martyrs. He was laid to rest today in his native village in Palakkad in Kerala. Not one central minister from the BJP was there.
I am representing the Kerala government to attend this funeral. Yesterday, Chief Minister Singhvi also participated, and 4 other ministers also will participate. We thought that somebody from the Union Cabinet should have been will attend this funeral. It is unfortunate and it is shocking that nobody from the Central Cabinet attended this function.
Country, especially the whole village of this Elimbalassery village, the Palakkad district, and the people of Kerala are mourning. It's very sad that nobody from the Union Cabinet is represented here.
So the Chief Minister of Kerala was there, the Home Minister of Kerala was there, the Member of Parliament from Palakkad was there, nobody from the BJP, either from the centre or from the state, was there. While you can argue that politicians are actually an inconvenience at martyrs' funerals, there is no excuse for the fact that up until now, no accountability has been fixed. 85 hours and counting. In the aftermath of 26/11, though, heads did roll. The then Union Home Minister was sacked, the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra were removed, the Mumbai Police Commissioner was changed. After Pathankot, though, nothing yet. Zilch. No action yet, no accountability yet, and that's forcing us to ask tonight's question, and that's our talking point. Is it time now, 85 hours and counting, is it time now for heads to roll? We'll be joined by our high-profile panel in about 5 minutes for our talking point. Is it time now to take stock and fix accountability? Well, that'll be our focus in exactly 5 minutes as we begin our talking point. Right now, a quick check of the top stories this Tuesday night.
मुझे थोड़े gaps दिखते हैं, वो investigation करने के बाद समझ जाएंगे. लेकिन I don't think हम लोगों ने security पे कुछ compromise किया.
For the first time, 80-plus hours into the Pathankot siege, you have a top government official admit that there were lapses which led to what we're seeing play itself out in such a dastardly fashion over the last 4 days. All 6 terrorists have been neutralized. The FIR lodged by the Punjab police pins the blame on the Pakistan-sponsored terror outfit, the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Was the Pathankot attack simply waiting to happen? CNN-IBN gets you exclusive details of an Air Force officer who was caught at the very same airbase in Pathankot in 2014. He was caught for passing on information to Pakistan. Shockingly, though, he was let off because the investigating agency couldn't file a charge sheet in the stipulated time.
तो आप हर किसी तरह की इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए तैयार हैं वैसे?
हाँ, तैयार हूँ. जो मेरे साथ हुआ मैं सच है.
गला जब मेरा काटा तो बोले, मैंने कहा अब तो छोड़ दो मेरे को. कहते नहीं, मारना नहीं था तेरे को, लेकिन तेरे दोस्तों ने धोखा दिया.
The Gurdaspur SP is under the scanner for his role in the Pathankot attack. Sources tell CNN-IBN that his links to the ISI and the Jaish are likely to be probed. After the terse message and assurance from the Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif calls up Prime Minister Modi, assuring him action against the Jaish-e-Mohammed, no confirmation yet on the Foreign Secretary level talks that were scheduled for the middle of this month. Tributes pour in for Pathankot braveheart Lieutenant Colonel E.K. Niranjan. Palakkad, the entire town queuing up to pay their last respects to the martyr who put nation over self. But like we said at the top, no one from the central government was there in attendance. I was defamed on social media. My family was deliberately targeted. That's Finance Minister Arun Jaitley recording his statement against Arvind Kejriwal in the 10 crore defamation suit against the Delhi Chief Minister and 4 others. But up first, more than 80 hours after the terrorists attacked the Pathankot airbase, the fighting has finally come to an end. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, who was at the airbase today, confirmed that all 6 terrorists involved in the attack have been killed. Parrikar also said that combing operations are still taking place and they are only likely to be called off tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Punjab Police's FIR, which has been accessed by CNN-IBN, states that the terrorists belong to the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Facing flak from all quarters, the Punjab police today said that there was no delay on their part, at least, in alerting central agencies about this terror attack. But the centre, for the very first time, did admit on the record that there were gaps which led to this.
मुझे थोड़े गैप्स दिखते हैं, वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के बाद समझ जाएंगे, लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक हम लोगों ने सिक्योरिटी पे कुछ कॉम्प्रोमाइज किया है। सिक्योरिटी पूरी तैयारी की थी। It takes some time to guard such a huge complex.
Lieutenant Colonel E.K. Niranjan was laid to rest in his native Palakkad in Kerala. Everyone from the Chief Minister to the Home Minister to the Member of Parliament of Palakkad was there for his funeral. Conspicuous by their absence, though, were BJP leaders. No minister from the centre nor any noteworthy state leader was present there. The Prime Minister has been criticised for the last couple of days, on Twitter at least, for talking about yoga even while the combat operations were on in Pathankot. Neetu Raghukumar and Shreya Dhondyal with more details.
A final farewell for a brave soldier. Wrapped in the tricolour, Lieutenant Colonel E.K. Niranjan came home to Palakkad for the last time. Friends and family, acquaintance and strangers stood for hours to pay their last respects. But in that sea of mourners, there was one glaring absence.
People of Kerala are mourning. It's very sad that nobody from the Union Cabinet is represented here.
While fighting for this country, only he has lost his life. Some representation should have been from this Union ministers.
And it is shocking that nobody from the Central Cabinet attended this function.
7 years ago, another martyr's funeral for Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, who died fighting terrorists during the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. No one from the Congress-led government at the centre was at his last rites, drawing sharp criticism from the opposition BJP. Narendra Modi, then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, flew down to Mumbai to highlight the inept handling of the operation by the Congress government.
परिवारों ने बहुत बड़ा बलिदान दिया है और सभी सुरक्षा बल के जवान, पुलिस हो, सेना हो, एनएसजी हो, जिन ने बलिदान दिया है, उनके लिए ये 1 करोड़ रुपए की सम्मान राशि गुजरात सरकार की तरफ से देने का मैंने निर्णय किया।
Today, Modi's silence over the Pathankot attacks is deafening. He's under fire for tweeting about yoga while the Pathankot attack was underway. His ministers are drawing flack for battling with the opposition rather than attending the funeral of martyrs.
Let the Prime Minister share with the country what is the assured outcome.
ऐसे हालात में कांग्रेस पार्टी के द्वारा देश को गुमराह करने वाले बयान दिए गए, वो शर्मनाक है, निंदनीय है।
BJP's own ally, the Shiv Sena, has accused the Prime Minister of paying more attention to foreign tours than national security. For a Prime Minister who has spent 2 successive Diwalis with India's soldiers, more public empathy for the Pathankot martyrs would have gone a long way. Bureau Report, CNN IBN.
So 7 people have been martyred, security has been compromised. Is it time now to ask the tough questions? Should heads now roll? Should accountability be fixed? Joining us, Dr. Subramanian Swamy of the BJP and Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress. Here in our studios, columnist Veer Singhvi, and joining us via satellite is Ajay Shukla, columnist with the Business Standard. Dr. Swamy, in the aftermath of 26/11, heads did roll. The then Union Home Minister was sacked, the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra were removed, the Police Commissioner of Mumbai was removed. Shouldn't we expect the same kind of accountability in the aftermath of Pathankot?
Well, no heads rolled after the 13th July 2007 Bombay terrorist attack. It didn't happen with every attack. You can't compare what happened in Pathankot with 26/11. 26/11 was a horrible situation where a whole hotel was taken, so many people died, and here, yes, 7 people have died, very sad. No damage was allowed to be done to the installations of the Air Force base, and we have brought the matter under control. Certainly, I think once an inquiry is held, as it is being planned, whoever is responsible will have to be taken to task. I certainly think that the SP of Gurdaspur needs to be investigated, and he's being investigated.
Okay.
They came in the guise of terrorists. They came not in the guise of terrorists, but they came in the guise of narcotic dealers, and they have been having a free run of Punjab for the last 12 years. So we have to do something seriously about that.
What about people at the centre? Will anybody at the centre be held to account?
Well, it depends on the inquiry. We can't do it before an inquiry is held.
Okay, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, is that a satisfactory explanation? The operations, technically at least the combing operations have not concluded yet. Is it too early to rush into judgment asking for heads to roll?
I just want to make a few quick points. Let me tell you that the reaction of the Congress over the last 5 days has been much more focused, measured, restrained and constructive than ever of the BJP when the BJP was in opposition. Number two, the Prime Minister, the Chief Minister of a state at that time held a press conference, Mr. Modi himself, on 26/11 aftermath and severely criticized. We have done nothing like that because we believe that solidarity in national security moments is important. Number three, I think we are not here to compare my tragedy with your tragedy. That's not the issue. But if Dr. Swami is talking of 13/7 or Pathankot, well, yes, Pathankot is not perhaps on the scale of 26/11, but the Parliament attack was an attack on the most sovereign symbol of our nation, and I don't see any real accountability happening there either. But let me tell you one last thing that's very, very important, and I think Dr. Swami will agree with me. What we have seen in Pathankot, thank God that it's led to very few numbers, but it is something which would have been comic were it not tragic. I mean, you have such a serious number of loopholes at operational level, at intelligence level, that we owe it to ourselves as a nation to inquire into it threadbare and go right up to whether it means the NSA level or the foreign level or the senior level, because you have here people roaming as if they're out for coffee at night. You have advance complaints ignored. You have decisions to fly in people from thousands of miles away and not use the local army. You have decisions not to use the local police force immediately. You have communication gaps, and you have such obvious contradictions, and not only in the SP, in the way these people are talking on telephones, transcripts. I mean, this has to, and who is taking these decisions to, fly in NSGs without involving the local persons? These are very serious matters. And why no Council of Ministers of the CCS is meeting? Why not the Security Council is meeting? Why is it a PMO driven? Let me ask you one question. It's not a presidential form of government, the PMO drives this. Where is the political element, collective responsibility of the cabinet?
We'll get to that in a moment, but these are serious accountability
issues,
needs to be fixed.
I'm not willing to make a political criticism.
At multiple levels with different agencies, whether it's the BSF, because as I understand, there have been at this very same border point since September of 2013, as many as 5 incursions have happened from this particular area. We all know the role of the Punjab Police, which has come under the scanner, the Air Force, it is after all an Air Force station, the National Security Advisor's role. Do you think accountability will be fixed at all at any of these levels?
I hope so, Zaka. I'm not optimistic, but I hope so. I think we have a tradition. We have 2 different traditions in India. The first is the tradition of people resigning, owning moral responsibility. Clearly, in this case, nobody owns any moral responsibility. They think it's the other chap's fault, so nobody's going to resign for that. The other is after you've given the chap a chance to be heard, after you conduct a thorough inquiry, people do get sacked, as they were sacked in Bombay after 26/11, and sometimes they don't. After Kargil, for instance, the Subramaniam Committee did a report which was basically very critical of the then NSA, saying he should at least not be made principal secretary, the job should be split up. Nothing happened. He continued the process. So it depends on governments whether they tend to take cognizance of reports, want to take accountability. So far, everything we've seen about Mr. Modi suggests that he stands by his people. Nobody's resigned, not Sushma Swaraj, not Vasundhara Raje, not even Gajendra Singh. He just holds tight with his people, which does not mean that he won't be willing to fix accountability in the BSF or the hapless Punjab Police, which I think is what might happen.
Ajay Shukla, you've written a very eloquent and very powerful piece arguing why the buck should stop with the National Security Advisor. Can you explain to our viewers if there are 3 specific reasons as to why you feel Mr. Doval should be held to account for what happened in Pathankot?
Well, I think that, firstly, in 26 years that I wore the uniform as a soldier, I have never received such good intelligence as was available at this time.
Yeah.
It was an intelligence coup. You knew that there were terrorists there 24 hours in advance of their coming. You knew where they were likely to strike. You knew what aim they had come there for. And you had a large cantonment next door from which you could draw people to retaliate. But that intelligence coup led to an operational failure. That operational failure is now sought to be minimized. We've already had the defense minister saying that 5 people died due to bad luck. They were shot in the cookhouse. You're not in the cookhouse because of bad luck. You're in the cookhouse because you were not alerted and put on duty at the perimeter to face the patrol. You've just had Mr. Subramaniam Swamy say that just 7 people died. Now, it's just to Mr. Subramaniam Swamy, but 7 people dead is a lot of people dead to their near and dear ones. So I think the signals are already out from the government that they're going to minimize this, they're going to cover it up, there's no sort of point. But probably, I think most people in India would agree that it is time for an inquiry to measure what went wrong, what decisions were incorrectly made, not for casting blame, not for asking for resignations, but at least for as Indians determining what went wrong so that it doesn't happen again and just 7 more people don't die in another operation. Where
point taken, but I just want to be very, very clear so that our viewers understand this. So there were at least, what, 2 brigades full of men right next to the Air Force station in the Pathankot cantonment. You are saying that they should have been pressed into service. It was not the NSG's job to be doing this. Is that what you're saying? I mean, I just want to be very clear.
That's absolutely correct. There were not 2 brigades, there were 2 divisions.
Okay.
That is 50,000 soldiers. That is India's largest cantonment, was located 2 kilometers away from Pakistan, from this Pathankot air base. This is full of people. The army who was deployed there had people who had operated in Kashmir, lots of combat experience, lots of ability at flushing out militants from this thing. The aim should not have been to react. The aim should have been to deploy these people immediately as soon as you heard of the militant presence. Deploy these people on the perimeter, at least 3 battalions of infantry. That's only a small percentage of what was there at Pathankot. Deploy them there, prevent the terrorists from getting in, rather than exposing all your assets to risk and reacting to the terrorists after they've come. I think there was delay, there was bad judgment in actually choosing the forces that were applied, and then there was a complete lack of command and control. Nobody was clear who was in command. The army, which should have been in command, was sidelined, and there was jostling and pushing. I still don't know who was in command of this operation.
Dr. Swamy, you want to respond to that? You've got 50,000 men of the army, the largest cantonment just a couple of kilometers away from this Air Force station. Somebody took the call that it's the NSG, which, by the way, is not trained for operations such as this. It's trained for hostage situations and largely urban crises. They were sent in. We don't know who took that call. Whoever took that call, is it time to fix accountability on that person?
Well, first of all, let me say that it's a very cheap thing to say that I said just 7 people died. Please, if you replay your tape, you'll see that I said that's bad enough. But I was comparing it to 26/11 when people try to make a parallel with 26/11.
Replay the tape and you'll have him say 7 people, just 7 people died.
Yeah, I did, but I added something else after that. And it's a very cheap thing to have said. Anyway, now the issue is this, that as far as the mobilization of the army, which was just next door, I certainly think that is a matter for inquiry, and it's only after the inquiry we'll decide. We can't allow journalists and ex-military people to tell us what should be done. There's a rule of law still, and we have to follow the rule of law, and we will
can't allow partisan politicians to tell us what can't be done.
No, but
well, right. Don't interrupt. I didn't interrupt you.
One second. Dr. Swamy, 1 second. 1 second. We haven't heard anything from the government or any indication from the government that there's going to be a commission of inquiry.
You will not.
Nothing yet.
No. Mr. Parikar indicated that this has to be inquired, and he said only then I will know for sure.
I heard the entire press conference. Veer's here as well. I understand. Did he say anything to the effect that
he suggested he would look into it. I do not recall any commitment to a commission of inquiry.
Nothing as far as the commission of inquiry is concerned.
No commission of inquiry.
No.
I never said commission of inquiry. I never said commission of inquiry. I said this has to be inquired into and then responsibility fixed.
Okay. Can I ask you a larger question? Why is it, if it is true that it is the National Security Advisor of the country who decided to take that call, an operational call, a tactical call to send one force and not the other, I mean, shouldn't the National Security Advisor of the country be worried about strategic things and not an operational tactical thing when there would be people who are at a far better position to take that call on the ground rather than sitting here in Delhi?
That I agree. That has to be inquired into by, that has to be fully inquired as to why he did it, and then his explanation should be called for.
So you concede that point. Abhishek Singhvi wants to come in. Yeah.
No, I just want to, I've said what I wanted to say about a whole list of what I consider absolute, clumsy things happening and some unbelievable things happening. But that apart, I don't want to repeat that. I find it astonishing that the whole system of the NSG, you are now discussing this as if there was a command system. It is very clear that the larger issue is more important. That appears to be one of optics. The style of functioning has become one of the PMO, and the PMO must work through the NSA. So when you say, and Dr. Swami I think rightly agrees, that this happened in Delhi, need not perhaps have happened, subject to inquiry. It must happen in Delhi. In fact, it must happen in Delhi not even within the cabinet or within the Council of Ministers or within a subcommittee of the cabinet. It is happening in Delhi in a very small area of the PMO. And that is the real problem. The systems which we have created over 70 years cannot be changed merely because we have a Prime Minister who is known for unilateralism or for having the focus on himself.
Okay.
And perhaps at that time not realizing that he wants to claim the credit for a successful operation. That was the probable intention why Delhi was intervening from Delhi to Pathankot. Well then, if the thing gets botched up, then you must also face the flak.
Yeah, and that's precisely the point, isn't it, Veer? That it's all fine to claim credit if the operation went successfully. In this case, it was.